Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy to answer your questions.
What now?
Why did I know that would be the first question? First of all, let me just say, those of you who have been through the budget for many years, as I have, know that this was just one short chapter. And I've called session for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'll be meeting with the speaker as soon as we're done here. And we will be talking about next steps. Obviously, I am very concerned, and the speakers as well, that we get this done by July 1. And we'll work every day to get it done by July 1. Today I thought was interesting. The arguments, from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, I didn't find too compelling. To assert it's a partial solution, $11 billion. It's obvious we were taking up the cut bill, but it was part of a larger $24 billion plan. And I think, what was left unanswered by today's session was the key question. If they don't think the conference report is sufficient, where is their $24 billion proposal? Because by their own actions and words, they disclaim at least $6.2 billion worth of the governor's proposal. And so where are their alternatives to that $6.2 billion? And do they have the votes for such an alternative? They were full participants in the 3-week conference committee in which they had every opportunity to raise their specific budget alternatives, and we don't see a plan. Now, it would be one thing, sometimes we go through this where, well, where's their plan, and it's, it's May with a, July 1 deadline. This is June the 24th, and this is serious business. And if their position is that they do not want the state to go to IOUs, then we need to see how they would make up the magic number of $24 billion. But I will tell you this, we will be back on our floor tomorrow, Friday, and over the weekend if necessary, in order to continue to try to get to a resolution. And, I haven't stated any absolutes with one exception. We're not eliminating health care for 950,000 kids. We are not eliminating college scholarships for 100,000 young people. We are not eliminating the most effective assistance to work program that exists in this state and maybe in the country. And we are not eliminating in-home care for the elderly and disabled who otherwise will end up, many of them, in nursing homes. And so if this is some sort of a thing to see whether or not we will blink, I have, you can't see them, but I actually have toothpicks holding my eyes open.
Senator,
it's not happening.
Darrell, was there any thought given to sending the spending cuts bill to the governor on a simple majority vote?
That's an option. That is certainly an option, but we decided today that we were going to try to seek bipartisan consensus around the one issue where you would think Republicans would readily agree to billions of dollars worth of cuts. It wasn't so, but like I said, it's one chapter, and we've got we will be back at it tomorrow on the
You
floor.
want to eliminate those programs, but what about cutting them further?
Well, the conference report cuts them.
Further.
The conference report cuts them, and significant cuts. Significant cuts. We are not going to, I said this yesterday, and I meant to say it on the floor, and I didn't quite get it in. There are a lot of things that are about politics and strategy and positioning. When I draw this line, this is not politics to me. This is a matter of conscience. I could not, and I know it's the same true of my colleagues. We have a sacred obligation. I would even call it a moral obligation to stand up for the least among us. That's why many of us came to public service and to politics. And so we are, in my view, nothing but responsible in terms of being willing to make cuts across the board and deep cuts in areas that, if we had it our way, we wouldn't want to do. But there's a difference between making cuts across the board on top of the cuts we made in February and last September, and the elimination or virtual elimination of so many of the things that, so many of the programs and investments that help people. And to me, some of this, not all of it, but some of it is a matter of life and death. And what do you think happens to the families who are on the adults who are on the pathway to work because of CalWorks, who get nothing and can't afford the rent and can't afford the basics of life? What do you think happens to 950,000 kids if they don't have health insurance? Talk to some of those, the advocates out there about the health impacts on kids who don't get any preventative health care. I said this, I want to repeat this as well, if I might, that in this building, these conventional wisdoms take hold that we all sort of nod, oh, that's the way that it is. But we don't have to, and we will not eliminate vital life and death services for people in California. There's no not gonna do it.
In about 15 minutes, some of the mayors of the cities of California are
Yeah.
going to hold a press conference. They're going to say, don't steal from the cities. We can't afford it. Do they stand a chance? That doesn't fall under morality that you've talked about.
Do they stand a chance?
That you don't take their money.
Well, the conference report that we presented today and voted on the floor does not include the $1.9 billion of cut/borrowing that the governor proposed as part of his budget. So we're trying very hard to stand with our fellow leaders in local government, most importantly, their communities. Our constituents are the same, by the way.
But it's on the table.
Well, of course it's on the table.
But it does include the gas tax money.
Yeah.
It does include the gas tax money, which I know they're going to talk a lot about. We've limited the gas tax money to 2 years. And we are also prepared to give them the authority to raise a fee to be able to pay for local streets and roads. And again, we don't want to do any of this, but we are dealing with a multi-billion-dollar deficit. Now, again, I remind you, cumulatively, $60 billion. We're up to about $60 billion. And you know what I said at the beginning of my speech, and we know, we all read the polls, but I am proud of the legislature because we have worked our way through the first 36. We're going to work our way through the remainder, and we're going to avoid an economic calamity in this state. We're just arguing a little bit here about how to get there.
How much does the IOU threat add pressure?
I think it adds a lot of pressure. I think it should add pressure. You're darn right. I mean, July 2nd, IOUs get issued. Darn right. That's why the absence of a plan from our Republican colleagues that adds up to $24 billion 1 week before the deadline is frankly troubling, because the consequences of not coming to an agreement by July 1 are obviously great.
Can you address the possibility of getting, can you address the possibility of getting yourself some breathing room for more negotiation in the state, getting through without having to do IOUs if you defer $3 billion from the payment to schools this fiscal year?
Certainly something we're open to. Certainly something we're open to discussing.
So,
Yeah.
some of your caucus members didn't vote for the plan or abstain. Can you address that?
Really, I didn't notice that. Just kidding. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Any reaction to that? I
Yeah.
mean, it's. aren't you
Well,
open
I
to
mean,
it?
I can understand. There are sometimes there are individual circumstances where you have a discussion beforehand and things are worked out, and that for at least one of the members that was the case. That was the case here. I expect, with some limited exceptions, all of the Democratic members to vote for the final package.
Can you see yourself going to majority vote tomorrow?
No.
This notion of
When do you pull that yeah, when do you pull that trigger?
Don't know yet. The speaker and I are going to be meeting.
this
Is
notion
that
that you said you're not going to do the cuts that we've talked about, CalWorks.
The eliminations, or the virtual eliminations.
Fair enough. The notion that you have drawn a line around those, does that mean everything else is up in negotiation at some point?
We're willing to engage in any discussions with the governor and the Republican Party about how to get there. I mean,
About everything other than those?
yeah, I mean, but yes, but that ought to include that means everything. We again, it's a folly to me. In what other state or what other circumstance is it considered completely acceptable to kick 950,000 kids off the health care rolls while not even discussing the possibility of raising a tobacco tax? Now, I'm a realist. It's 2/3, it's 2/3, not there. But it just step out into the real world here, and let's recognize that this is in fact not a game. It's not a game of chicken. When I laid down and the speaker laid down the marker we laid down here, we mean it, not because we're trying to achieve any political victory, but because we stand with people and we understand the consequences of eliminating these crucial investments.
Are taxes off the table? Are taxes off the table? There's been some comments have been bandied about.
Are taxes they're not off the table for us?
Okay.
I mean, we'd like to pass a tobacco tax and an oil severance tax. We think that would mitigate the need for these deepest of cuts. But I also know what the rules are, and until we change the 2/3 requirement in California, then it's going to require Republican votes, and they're obviously not there.
So you abandoned it, or you haven't?
Oh, we're not abandoning it.
Okay.
Oh no. Having double top secret discussions with many
It seems like
members.
most compromises that are being active are you, Daryl, and Democrats.
I'm sorry. I just made myself laugh. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It seems like most compromises that are being asked of Democrats. What compromises do you see Republicans, or would you ask Republicans to make?
to vote for the budget. Thank you, Denise. Yeah, to vote for to vote for an $11 billion cut package, and some of the one-time solutions, and they are one-time solutions that help us get through this and to live to fight another day. And again, I go back to the point that the box that I think our Republican colleagues have put themselves in is the fact that they distance themselves, they disagree with $6.2 billion worth of the governor's solution. So where are they going to make up the money? Where are you going to make up the money in a way that does not harm the economy, create further unemployment, and hurt more people? And so I don't know what I expect. What I would like is for them to care, and really care enough to cast their vote, to stand for the kids who need health insurance, to stand with the college kids who may not go if they don't have a little bit of scholarship money, to stand with the people who are doing exactly what welfare reform is intended to do, and that is help people get from public assistance to work. That's what I would like from them. That's the kind of compromise we want and need from them.
Darryl, that $6.2 billion that you referred to, the Republicans, by their action rejected, that's the total, and it may revise that the...
Let me go through them. Excise tax and weight fee transfers from locals, $986 million. Increased income tax withholding, $1.7 billion. Increased estimated income and corporate tax payments, $610 million. The Prop 1A suspension, $1.982 billion. The SCIF sale, $1 billion. These are all governor's proposals that the minority party has rejected. They've also rejected now $11 billion worth of cuts. Okay, let's see. Now we're $17 billion down, I guess, in terms of the minority party getting to a place where they can even come close to our $21 billion. So, and we have a week to go. And we have 1 week to go.
So what's the venue here? I mean, is the ball in the Republicans' court? Where are you waiting for them to come back and say, okay,
no,
here's, or
no, we're not waiting. No. We are not waiting. We plan to go to the floor again tomorrow, and again, the speaker and I are going to be talking in a few minutes about what actions we are going to put up on the floor, and we will plan to be in session Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday if necessary. And as I said in my last floor statement, we welcome conversations with the administration and with our Republican colleagues to see if we can find a way through this that does not eliminate or virtually eliminate these crucial investments.
Is the administration talking with you guys actively now, or has it been sort of silent at this point?
It's been a little quiet the last couple of days, Do I miss the Big Five meetings? No, I really don't.
Are we headed back there?
I don't think we're heading back there. Because one thing that we cannot engage in is a lengthy negotiation. I mean, this is okay. We're this many billions apart. Is there another way to bridge that gap other than the elimination of these investments? But Big Five, has its place, and the almonds and the fruit are very good downstairs, but we sort of, I think we played that out, pretty well during the $42 billion budget crisis, and I don't think we frankly have the time to sit down and have these lengthy negotiations.
So then are you in a sense then taking the governor out of the equation in terms of
No,
negotiations?
absolutely not taking the governor out of the equation. I think he's key to it. And, again, we look forward to constructive discussions with him and with the Republican leadership. I'm just talking about that particular venue, which, again, nobody's saying we wouldn't show up, but I just, you asked my opinion. I don't think it is I don't think it is the preferred venue.
Just trying to understand, because based on what you have said over the last couple of minutes, we don't have a lot of time for lengthy negotiations, we're short on time, there's not a whole, it feels as though the majority vote option is really the only thing you can pull right now. So but you said you're not gonna do it tomorrow, so I'm trying to understand.
Stay tuned. Okay, we're not gonna do it tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it
Do you have
tomorrow.
other things up your sleeve?
I'll be happy to announce the exact subject of tomorrow's floor session as soon as I meet with the speaker, and and I'm sure that we're on the same page. Thank you, guys.
Intriguing.